Okay guys, I am here. I'm just getting set up and we'll start the class in about 3 minutes. I'll turn on the chat. Okay guys, we'll get underway in a minute, but you are probably going to need a calculator, a pencil, and paper today. Remember to do your audio setup under the tool so you can see if you hear me. And also remember to put your hand down once you're in. Who is N? Who are you, N? Interesting. Okay guys, it says 4 o'clock on my computer, but it's only 3:59 by the classroom one, so I'll wait for that extra minute. We're going to get going. I guess I can put my hand down now. Megan and everybody else. You know, you guys, you can talk if you want to. You can just press your talk button under the audio video screen. I changed mine around, it's driving me crazy now. Okay, there we go. All right. So there's a few of you here. I know that most of the kids seem to watch the video that last day afterwards. So it could be that 4 o'clock's just not working out for people right now. But we're going to get going because it's 4:01 by my computer and it's 4 o'clock by the clock. So we've been working the last couple of days on, oh, do I sound funny? That means if I sound like a chipmunk, just so you know, it means that your internet provider is running a little bit slow, and then when it gets up to regular speed, it catches me up. So I sound like a chipmunk, or I sound like a bit like Minnie Mouse. Either way, it's kind of weird. All right. So the last couple of days, we've been working on expressing fraction. I'm going to try that whole sentence again because apparently my tongue is new. Expressing percent as fractions and decimals. So you'll see on the screen that we've got a whole bunch of 6 up there. So let's just quickly go through. I know it's my baby voice, but it's not my fault. That's to do with your computer, not mine. All right, let's go through and see what we think each one is. So 32%, fraction and a decimal. Send it to me on the chat. Or talk. You can talk if you want. 32%. Anybody? All right, well fine, don't talk and don't put anything else. 32 out of 100. All right, that's right. That is, in fact, the fraction. If we were to put that fraction in those terms, it would be 8/25. All right, that's right, lowest terms. So what would that be as a decimal? We're just doing this as a quick, thank you, William, decimal 3.2, excellent. So a quick review of what we did today. Next one is 4%. 4%. Anybody want to give me what that is as a, thank you, Manri. 4 out of 100 is the fraction. And is that in those terms? Oh, William got it first. It was 1 out of 25. Remember, we keep reducing until we get to the point where we can't divide the top and bottom by anything but 1. How about 75%? Anybody want to take that one on? Is it a fraction and as a decimal? Fraction, 75 out of 100. Decimal, 75. Excellent, Manri. Can somebody tell me what the reduced fraction is? 18 out of 25 is sort of close there, William. I think we can divide those both still. What we end up with is 3/4. No, I think it would be 15 out of 25, isn't it? I'm not sure. Okay. So 75% actually equals 3/4. If you take 75 and 100 and divide them both by 25, you'd see that you would get 3 over 4. All right, excellent. What about 40%? 40%. 40 out of 100, says Manreed. That's excellent. And in lowest terms, N 0.4. And in lowest terms, William was quick this time, 2 out of 5. Excellent. 99%. 99%. 99 out of 100, says Manreed. Gloria, you're just typing too much. And decimal 99. Excellent. That one can't be reduced. 99 and 100 do not have any common factors except 1. Okay, and your very last one, 25%. Come on, you guys, get those typing fingers moving. Callum, I see your microphone's lighting up, but I'm not hearing anything. Do you want to test? Excellent. 25 out of 100, or 0.25, that's excellent. And let's reduce that to lowest terms. Reducing it to lowest terms. Not so sure about that one, Zach. We divide them both by 25, we get 1 over 4. Remember, we're going to divide the top and bottom of that fraction by the same number. So 25 divided by 25 is 1, and 100 divided by 25 is 4. Excellent thinking, though. Good job, you guys. All right, so we've been working on that for a couple of days now, but we're going to start estimating our percentage. So how do we calculate percentage of a number? Does anybody know how we calculate a percentage of a number? Percentage of? All right. So whenever you are doing anything in, I'm just going to put in a text box here. Percentage of, let me see what my, I don't know if it's going to let me type. Just a second. Computer's being funny the last couple of days. All right. Percentage of a number, anything when you say of in math means that you multiply. So percentage of a number is to multiply the number by the decimal equivalent. I'm going to put that into the chat. Is to multiply the number, I'm going to try spelling it right first, to multiply the number by the decimal equivalent. All right? Oh dear, I'm having some, when I type fast, I'm a terrible speller. Percentage of a number is to multiply the number by the decimal equivalent. So 10% of 90, what would our calculation be if we were actually calculating this? 10% of 90. Type it in if you know. Good. 90 times 0.10. How about if we were doing 10% of 57? And I want everybody that knows what they're doing to now type this into the chat. So 10% of 57, what would my calculation be? 57 times 0.10, says William. Who agrees? Some of you are sitting there not doing too much, so I'm not seeing a whole lot of typing. I'd like everyone to type that into me. Okay, so everyone for the next one, everyone online, so that's Callum, Gloria, Jasmine, Caden, Manreet, William, and Zach. I would like you to tell me what my calculation is going to be for 10% of 140. Good, William? Good, Callum? Are you there, Manreet? Caden's there. I can see her typing. Zach's typing. Good. Jasmine, Zach. Gloria, are you there? Oh, Gloria's typing too. Excellent. Okay. Every once in a while, I like to see that you're typing, so I know that you haven't actually just signed on to the class and then gone off to play GTA or something. All right. The last one is 10% of 77. Now, 10% of 77 is 77 times 0.10. I'm going to show you something, though, that's kind of neat. You might not remember this from before. Okay. So 10%, 0.10. I'm going to make this bigger. 48%. Okay, here we go. 48 points. 10% of 77, 0.10 times 77 equals 7.7. All right? So what we're doing when we get 10% of a number is we actually pretend the decimal is at the end of the number and we move it back one place because it's 1/10 of the number. So remember when we're dividing by a tenth, we move the decimal one place. So the 10% are easy to figure out. So what's 10% of 90 without doing the calculation? I'm sorry that I sound like the elf from Polar Express, guys. It's 9. What is 10% of 57? Should be able to do these in your head pretty quick. William's got the knack of it. He's moved it back 1. He's got 5.7. Excellent. Zach got that 2. How about 10% of 140? Excellent, Callum. 10% of 140? 10% of 140 is, lots of people typing, 14. 14. We're only moving the decimal 1 place. So when I have it here, 140 times 0.10, I'm going to move my decimal back 1 place. It's 14.0. Okay, moved it 1 place. Excellent, you guys. So when you're doing 10% of a number, that's probably one of the easiest percentages to figure out. Because if it's 10% of $90, then we know it's $9. If it's 10% of $80, it's $8. If it's 10% of $1,000, it's $100. So you just move the decimal back 1 place. All right, so the 10% one is easy to figure out. Now, why would 25% be a good benchmark, and how would I calculate that? Does anybody want to come on and actually talk? The microphones are working. Well, lots of typing anyway, that's good news. 25 times 4 equals 100. Okay, excellent answer. So then if we're trying to figure out 25% of a number, we can multiply it by 0.25. We can multiply that number by 0.25, or we can just divide it by 4. Because we know for 100% it would be 4 times 25. So for example, what then is 25% of 100? What's 25% of 100? Anybody want to take a guess on that one? Because nobody's typing. Are you guys slow typing today, or is it just me? Okay. The next one I want you to do once you've entered that one is 25% of 40. So what is 25% of 100, and what is 25% of 40? Looks like Nan Reed is typing. I want everybody that knows that to type it in. There we go. See lots of typing going on now. I'm glad that you're not going to starve during this class, Zach. So 25% of 100 is 25, right? Because it's of 100, 100%. 25% of 40 is 10. Okay, why would 25% of 40 be 10? Because 40 divided by 4 is 10. So each 25% is going to be 10. Why would 50% be a good benchmark? Okay, guys, that's great, but we've only got a few minutes, right? You don't want to waste my time. Come on. Why would 25% be a good benchmark? Sorry, 50%. 50 is half of 100. Excellent, Kaden. So when it's 50%, we just divide the number in half. So what is 50% of 30? What is 50% of 30? 15, says William. Excellent. What is 50% of 62? Jasmine Van Reed, that was quick, 31. Excellent. So the last one I'm going to go over is how would you calculate a benchmark that is a multiple of 10? So say it's 30%. Say I wanted to figure out 30%. What would be a quick way of doing that, even in your head? Any ideas? Don't anyone type. Oh, William's typing right now. See if William comes up with something. Yep, the last one on the screen. All right, so what we do then is to calculate a benchmark that's a multiple of 10%, so say it's 10, or say it's 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90. We can figure out what 10% is, and then, for example, for 40, we would multiply it by 4. Or we can figure out what 10% is and multiply it by 6. So let's use one example. Say I'm buying a pair of jeans. They're $90. I'm going to just put up another text box here. Okay, my jeans are $90. And they're at 60% off. What I'm going to do is figure out that $90, 10% is $9 off. Then I'm going to say, okay, well, if I want 60%, I'm going to do 9, which is for 10% off, times 6, and I'm going to get 54. And that's going to show me 60% off. So what I did was figure out my 10%, and then I multiplied it by whatever multiple of 10 it was. All right? Any questions about that? I don't know. The internet must be running slow in one of your neighborhoods. So let's figure out the following benchmarks without a calculator. And what I would like you to do is under A, I would like you to choose one that you're going to do 50% of the number. This is going to be your homework because it's already 4:13. So A, 50% of one of those numbers, and you can choose it. And then B, 10% of one of those numbers, and write them down quickly because I'm going to switch the screens. You actually have 4 questions today. Any questions about that? Give me a thumbs up, you guys. There's not much communication today. Okay, good. So I'll wait for about a minute, and I'm going to get, you don't have to write down all 4 or 5 of them. I just want you to choose one. And what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, for 50%, I'm going to do D. And for 10%, I'm going to do C. Okay? Put your hand up when you're done so I can change the page. Callum, are you there? Okay. You don't need all of them, you guys. You just need one. Callum's done. Gloria's done. Manreet's done. Leave your hand up until I change the page, okay? So as soon as Jasmine, Caden, and William are done, then we'll move on. Caden's done. You only need one guy, guys, not all 5. William's done. Jasmine, last one. Yay. Okay, I'm going to change the page. Here's the next part of the homework. 25% of the following. Choose one of A, B, C, D, or E. Okay. And then the last one is asking you to use that 10% times whatever multiple it is. So for 90%, that you'd figure out 10% and multiply by 9. For 70%, you'd figure out 10% and multiply by 7. For 60%, you would figure out 10% and multiply by 6. And for 40%, you would figure out 10% and multiply by 4. All right? So do one of those calculations as well. So there's 4 questions, one from the 25% and one from the last one, 90% of 50, 70% of 200, 60% of 20, or 40% of 25. So as soon as you've got those written down, you're free to go. I did it. It's 4:16. Yay. If you're done, you can just say goodbye and take off. See you, Manreet. See you. Bye, Karen.